Well, the way this ended, I was a little bit shocked. But yeah, let's start this book. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I have not read The Cruel Prince. I know, it's really bad that I've not read it yet, and I consider myself an avid fantasy romance reader. I mean, I know that these books are more fantasy, like political fantasy, I think, than romance. I know there's a romance aspect to it. You know what? I actually don't even know really what these books are about. I know there's a human in a fae world. Okay, let me read the back because that might help me a bit. Okay, wait, why have I not read this yet? It looks so interesting. So it says here, one terrible morning, Jude and her sisters see their parents made unalive in front of them. The fierce assassin abducts all three girls and brings them to the world of fairy. Mocked and tormented for being merely mortal, Jude soon realizes that to survive in the treacherous, dangerous world of the Fifth Royal Court, she needs to be as cunning and deceitful as the Fae themselves. That looks really interesting. So from what I can tell, I think there are 3 main books and then there are 2 novellas. I'm going to make this a non-spoiler vlog. I'm so excited to read this now, and they're also really short. So I think this first one's only like 360 something pages. But yeah, let's start this book. Okay, so the prologue. Look how pretty this design is. Oh, that's really pretty. I am about 40% of the way through this book so far, and I can tell you a bit more about what this book's about. Jude, our main female character, is a human, and as a child, her and her sisters were taken to the fairy world by a fairy named Madoc, because one of her sisters, Vivi, is actually Madoc's daughter. So her sister's half fairy, but she is completely human because they have different fathers. So Madoc takes them all away to the human world, and because they are now living as his honorary daughters, she has protection. However, the fairies are still quite cruel to her. Fairies in this world can be quite cruel to mortals in general. And these fairies are probably more like fairies that we grew up thinking fairies were like with wings and tails, and they can't lie and can be quite cruel. So it's more like a fairy tale fairy instead of like a Avatar type of fairy. At the moment, our main male character, for a minute there, I thought it was going to be Locke. But apparently, from what I've read from TikTok and BookTube, and of course, The Cruel Prince, Cardan is going to be, I think, the main male love interest. However, at the moment, he's really unlikable. He's really cruel to Jude, so I don't know how I feel about that. But what I'm going to do now is read a couple of chapters with you guys while my daughter sleeps. Chapter 12 kind of explains why Cardan is the way he is. I feel like I have a little bit more sympathy and empathy for Cardan now. Hey guys, it's Michelle from the future. I filmed this video about 3 weeks ago, and I ended up only editing it last night, and while I was editing I missed out a clip. I don't know how it happened. I somehow deleted it off my phone or deleted it off my computer, but while I was editing I could not find the clip of where I wrapped up the first book, The Cruel Prince. So I pulled out my phone to film what my final thoughts were on the first book in the series. I need to try and remember because I read this like 3 or 4 weeks ago now, but I ended up giving it, I think it was a 4-star, or was it a 4.25 star? It will be up on the screen with what I gave it. So I really enjoyed this first book. This type of fairy world is not my favorite type of fairy world. This is more of a what a typical fairy world as we thought of it growing up kind of looks like, where the fairies have wings and are cruel and can't lie. But even though it's not the type of fairy world I generally read about, I really still enjoyed it. I feel like it was a really great first book in a series of a YA fantasy book. I feel like the pacing of the book was really, really good. I really enjoyed our main female character. The main male character took me a while to like him, I must say that. And I still don't know how I feel about him. I understand why he is the way he is. I know a lot of people love Jude and Carden and say that they are, their favorite couple, but I just don't see that yet. The romance is not romancing for me. But I know this is more fantasy than romance. I also enjoyed the mystery aspect of this book. I then picked up the novella, The Lost Sisters, which is the first novella in the series and comes right after the first book. This is Jude's sister Taryn's POV, and this POV takes place within the first book. And it was quite nice. So I listened to it over audiobook and it was an hour and a half, 2 hours. And I went on a trip for work, which was an hour and a half away. So I was able to listen to it on that trip, which was really nice. I have conflicting thoughts about it. I quite enjoyed getting her POV, her sister's POV. I did feel like that POV could have been added into the first book, The Cruel Prince. However, I do understand why she's put it as a novella, because it may have given some plot points away in the first book. But yeah, I feel like it's definitely worth the read. I would recommend perhaps trying to see if you can find it through your library, or through a library app. I don't know if it is worth buying as part of the series, if that makes sense. So I'll get back to editing this video now. So back to the video. Hey guys, so I am now on chapter 22. I've just finished the first part of this book. So all 3 books have part 1 and part 2. And I am now on part 2. And oh my goodness, I did not expect the way part 1 ended. I think I finally now understand why this cover is the way it is. Sometimes I feel like Jude's character frustrates me, but in general I think she is quite a strong-willed person, which is great to see. But there are times when decisions she makes, I'm like, no! Why? I guess it's all part of the plot line. I did feel, though, the first part of this book, the first 50%, was a bit slow compared to Cruel Prince. But yeah, I think it's picking up now, hopefully. My daughter is napping. She is probably going to wake up soon, so I'll probably only carry on with the second half of this book tonight while she's asleep. But it's really hard to pick down the book now at the moment because it's at such a interesting spot. But that's okay. I'll carry on reading tonight once she's gone to bed. We're just probably going to go play at a park this afternoon and read some books together, her books together. Guys, I ended up finishing The Wicker King, and it ends on a cliffhanger. Oh my goodness, thank goodness I've got the 3rd book that I can pick up straight away, because wow, the way this ended, I was a little bit shocked. I did not expect that at all. Oh, I've still got the sticker. I felt like in this book I did want to get a little bit more of Carden and Jude time together, but that's okay. Hopefully we'll get more of that in The Queen of Nothing. I felt like the fantasy elements and the world in this book is really well done. I love that there's definitely quite a mystery element to this book as well, and that it is quite plot heavy, and yeah, I really enjoyed that. Our main female character is really quite power driven. She's quite confident and strong, which is quite nice to read about. At the end of this book, it's something that she didn't expect and that I didn't expect. So it'll be really interesting to see how the next book goes. I think I was a little bit stuck on whether to rate this a 3.75 or a 4-star. I think I'm going to give it a 4-star rating, but I might still change my mind on that. Only 321 pages, huh? Nice quick book to read. I'm going to pick this one up straight away. So I've got these 2 books for my birthday this year. Haven't ended up buying the 3rd book for myself, but I did notice that my library had it on hand, so I ended up getting it from my library. I do also have the audio book on my library app, so if I enjoy this book, I think what I might do is end up buying this book if I really enjoy it, so that I have the completed set. I'm about 40% of the way through The Queen of Nothing. I was just reading now while my daughter was napping, and she's just woken up. Excuse the books in the background. We were reading for a while, and now she's just sitting down eating some fruit. So I thought I'd quickly let you guys know what I thought about the book while I was reading during her nap time. Just read chapter 15, and at the end of chapter 15, I don't want to give away too much, but there's this forest scene, and it gave me absolute goosebumps. But yeah, I can't say anything more because I don't want to give anything away, but it was really, really great. I also, I didn't know what to think of this book. Like, I didn't know how it ended with Wicked King. I didn't know what was going to happen at all in this book. I didn't know where the plot line was going. But it's not what I expected, but I think I'm enjoying it so far. Not too much has happened, but I think it's all building up. The one thing I must say, though, about this book, I expected there to be a lot more Cardan and Jude scenes, but they've hardly been together. I mean, they've hardly been in the same scene at all. It's mostly following Jude and what's happening with her. But yeah, I've only got like 60% left of this book, and tonight I think I'm going to binge the rest of this book, hopefully. If not, I'll finish it tomorrow and let you guys know what I think. Hey guys, I ended up finishing The Queen of Nothing a few days ago, and I'm just updating you guys now because I needed a little bit of time to think over what my rating would be for this book and how I felt about it. I ended up giving this a 4.25. I did enjoy it a bit more than I did The Wicked King. Felt like it was quite a nice conclusion of how all the plot points, I felt like all the plot points concluded quite nicely in this book. It does make some room for the next side series that's coming up. There were 1 or 2 characters where their conclusion to the whole story should have gone down a bit differently. Not Jude and Cardan, I'm happy how they ended up, but there was 1 or 2 side characters that I was like, is that really how that's going to end for them? Okay. But other than that, I thought this was fast-paced, quite thrilling to read, and I would have liked to see, again, more time with Cardan and Jude together. I own the first 2 books, and this is a library book, which I'm so grateful for my library. I really enjoy taking books out from my library, but I think I would like to try find this book and buy it so that I can complete my series on my shelf. Maybe what I'll do is I'll have a look at like secondhand bookstores or Facebook Marketplace or something like that to see if I can find the last book for a bit cheaper. I ended up also picking up second novella to the series, and this is Cardan's POV to a lot of what happens in the first 3 books. It just gives a little bit of insight to how Cardan thinks and feels about certain situations in the Cruel Prince series. I thought the artwork in this book was very, very beautiful, and that was really enjoyable to see. I think I would have liked more of his thoughts and feelings towards Jude. There was a little bit more of his thoughts and feelings towards, is it Nicasia. So that was the only thing that I didn't really like about this book. However, it was a very beautiful book with lots of beautiful illustrations, and overall, I think this series is like a 4-star series for me. I thoroughly enjoyed it. It's not quite a 5-star series for me, but that's okay. It still was a really, really good book to read, and at least I'm not the only person left in the world who has not read the series. I think I'll pick up the next 2 books maybe in the next couple months and see how it all concludes. Thank you so much for watching this video. Let me know what your thoughts are about The Cruel Prince. I would love to hear those in the comments, and I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day.